Okay,
Well,
guys.
it's really
So
great having all of you
yeah,
at the same time. I'm really glad we got to do this 3D meeting. It's more about characters and rigging, right? That we're going to be talking about.
yeah.
So maybe we can just start the three of us, and she'll just join it.
All right,
So
cool.
Muriel, take
Okay.
it away.
Hey guys. So we wanted to officialize Brett as the lead TD in the team. So what will happen is that he will be in
Congratulations,
charge.
Brad. You're promoted.
Woo! How much more do I make?
I was gonna say salary stays very similar, but you get a lot of respect. So
Well, anyway, so I just wanted Brett to talk a little bit about what he's getting overall and for us to kind of like chat a little bit of how we can make this process go smoother so that the riggers can get the animals and can just start working right away.
all right, so we want to kind of streamline the modeling process. So Brett, if you want, you can even share like your Maya screen if you have specific things you think are worth going over, or you can just talk about it. I'll give you the presentation window.
My face, no. Yeah, I have my notes. So I'll mostly be, I guess, talking about character models. So I guess you're mostly doing all the props, background, all that stuff. So this is only loosely applied to you. But basically, I just wanted to go over some things that would help me going forward for, I guess, CJ and Daniel. UVs. Make sure everything is UV before it ever hits me in terms of just start rigging. It's really important. It's really should be done. It's the responsibility of the modeler, I would say. If you need help with it, there's definitely sources out there, and it doesn't really matter what program you decide to do it in. If you want to do Maya or whatever UV layout, it should definitely be done before rigging. You can transfer UVs to like a skin mesh with a script, but it's one of those things I don't like to do unless it's required, like the UVs need to be changes because the texture artist maybe didn't like how they were or something along those lines. It shouldn't be like a start by putting it off and then going back later and dealing with it kind of thing. It should be in the thought process. So I guess take your time to UV everything properly, lay it out nicely. I don't know if we have a texture artist yet, do we, for characters?
Texture, I think CJ, you're gonna be doing the texture for the background characters, right?
I thought like I just started the truck texture.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure like I'm gonna do all the textures, but firstly I'm gonna take care of all the trucks texturing.
Right.
So.
And Daniel, you're gonna be doing the textures for the two main characters, right?
Yeah, the ones I did were just the clothing, but all the UVs are laid out. So.
Yeah, for the pig and the fish, yeah, totally was great. It's just for mostly I guess the background characters. They weren't. None of them are done. So I guess once we have a texture artist for that, it's probably smart to work with them closely how they want them laid out, make it easier for them to redo it later. But
and Kat, I was thinking you're doing the textures for your models, right? Is that something you can do, or?
Yeah, if you need me to.
Right, for like the hard surface stuff that you're working on. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And also, so let me just update you guys. So Kat is gonna be doing the park. And now CJ, he's doing the texture for the cars, for the trucks, while he was waiting for the harbor. Now he got the harbor, so he's gonna be doing the harbor. So I think that the UV for the background characters, CJ, you could be working on that after you're done with the harbor. Okay, CJ, you got the plans for the harbor already.
Yeah, and I already started, so I think I'm gonna be like all the UVs and about the harbor, I'm just modeling with the UV every single buildings. So like I think I will be able to wrap up by like Monday or Tuesday, I guess. So
no, that's too slow, man. Only 3 days.
Right after this, I'm gonna like be continue with the trucks texturing. So.
Then the animals, the background animals, because you're gonna need the UV to rig, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brett, can you keep going on your list?
Sure.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, totally normal. Jump around as much as we need. So yeah, I just wrote down UV everything. I don't know if you want me to take some of the background characters after I finish the main ones, or if you want whoever the new person is going to be, if it's going to be the one you're testing, doing all of the background characters. There's quite a lot. So I don't know if you want to delegate it up a little bit. I don't mind.
I mean, I'd be fine with you working on them as well, but we got to make sure you finish the main characters.
Yeah, no,
that's all you got to do. And once that's done and we're happy, because I think it's going to be an ongoing process. So once I start animating, I'll probably bug you over and over. And then there's going to be the rigging of all the trucks, the stuff in the truck, like the knives, the pots. It's just going to be so many things. So I feel like if we can have this guy just doing one character after another, he's going to be faster doing it because he's just going to have like a system after a while. There's so many characters. Yeah. And it'll be easier for me to just keep him doing that. And then if you're done rigging everything we need for the main characters and for the trucks, then sure, we can.
That all sounds good. Just keep in mind that since I've looked at it, all those animals are very, very different from each other. So it might definitely a system to streamline it a little bit that can be used per animal, but there's definitely a lot of things like that specifically might be specific to some of the animals that the others might not need, or etc. to make them work correctly. So
I know. I mean, yeah. I'm gonna hope that it's not gonna be more than like a few days for each character.
Yeah, it totally depends on also how much capacity they're going to be used, which shots, if they're all in certain shots. Right. I know there's the panting shot with the picket thing.
Right, because the protesters are gonna be a little more in view than the others barely do anything really. Yeah. So some of them can be rigged a lot less. Some of them are literally standing in line. So all we need is like.
That probably makes sense to pick which ones, when you get to it, which ones are actually going to be in the protest line. So
we know which ones. So there's a priority set up for those animals.
All right, cool. Moving on from that, in terms of, it looks like are most of the, I saw at CJ you put up like 100 models, or like all the characters. It looks like they're almost all done. I don't know. There might be more, and this might not be relevant anymore if there's not any more left, but. Just going back through all the ones you already did, or the ones that still need to be done, and making sure that there's enough edge loops for me. I've had to increase the edge flow. I know a lot of the stuff I've gotten has been really low poly, which is good, but it might be a little too low poly in some cases. Just make sure that we have a minimum of at least 3 edge loops for all bending joints. I noticed it mostly on like the knees, elbows, neck. Like there's just not enough in there to really get a nice curve.
So how do we want to approach this? Do you want to email him a list of like or is it just like for every character?
Yeah, I'll have to go through and just I haven't got a chance to go through every single character and see which ones need it. But I guess just speaking in general, going forward, I didn't know if there's any more left.
But I think we're done with all of them, right?
Yeah. So I can go through.
We still have the bird. The bird that Milos is designing is not modeled yet.
Oh, the little suitcase bird thing?
Yeah.
But all the characters, the background characters are done.
And Daniel is working on the gorilla.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. I also wrote down, like I guess said, all these models are done, so I'm going to have to go through all of them now. I didn't get a chance to go through all of them, but just avoiding the unnecessary 5 stars that come along with extruding things outwards that you always get, like cleaning those up, like the butt on one of the characters. I don't know if it was the pig or maybe it was one of the best. Like you extrude out the butt and then you shape it, but then you still have those annoying 5-star points where 5 edge loops meet. It's really annoying for bending in terms of deformation. The weighting never looks right on those areas. So I guess only keeping them in the parts where you need to keep them. So again, I have to go through everything, and that's basically it. And most of that was for characters. The only thing I guess in terms of the background stuff, Kat can just do it at her own leisure. I guess for all the props and stuff, because it's not priority. I can do little like garbage rigs so you can move things around and scale them and update that later when she's done.
So. What about all these? You said a lot of geometry is missing underneath the clothes. Is that?
So I think that's just my terribly old setup. So I'm just going to say all models should be online when they're put on Dropbox as FBX, so it keeps the naming conventions that you guys set up. And then also putting the Miocene also, I guess you can put the Miocene on an FBX or an OBJ if FBX doesn't really work for you. And then that'll help me, because that seems to be the only issue. As soon as I open FBXs, they're cool. As soon as I open Miocenes, they seem to be just like they don't have geo, like it's just not there. So. Oh
no, I meant like for the characters to not have body geo underneath.
Oh yeah, that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's just in terms of the characters. just because it's really annoying to paint weights on a character that has just like a head that's severed and then like a shirt, because then like there's always that space, it's just kind of like a neck that goes into, the neck hole or whatever, and then you have all those gaps. So basically you have to get like 100% one-to-one painting, so when you bend it, there's not any like things popping out. It's really annoying. If you have a full body, you can just paint naturally, and then you can copy weights to the clothing. And I usually always make a copy of the body and then like have like a severed version where it's like separated, so we don't have to deal with like the double rendering of rendering things inside of things. And that's usually stuff I set up towards the end. But yeah, it helps out if it's all one body. So I guess CJ, I don't know if all those characters, if they all have.
All of them are like, I just made the whole body and then copied and made the other clothes. So yeah, okay. You don't have to worry about it.
So that's good, right?
Wonderful human. Thank you.
Okay, so we're good. This is another question that we maybe should ask is the renderer. So I was thinking Mental Ray.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's easy, standard, everybody knows it. If you have, and I think we're going to run into less problems using that because it's so like established. But I don't know. That's CJ suggested we use that as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it would be good. I think the style is like toony enough where it would look pretty nice, honestly. Okay. The only thing I would recommend, aside from Mental Ray, for this kind of project would be either Mental Ray or Arnold. But Arnold's a lot more involved than Mental Ray. There's a lot more that could go wrong. There's a lot
I'm
curve with it. I don't think
it's a farm. Like I don't want anything to go wrong.
Yeah, I feel like Mental Ray is safe. It's been around forever, and it's not like you have like realistic looking models. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's already a very stylized piece.
Who's doing the render?
Yeah. I guess I mean I know Andre is helping with like all the more advanced stuff with like lighting and rendering, and he's going to do like simulation for the water and clouds. But I guess technically it's going to go through me eventually with the help and guidance of Andre and everybody who I might ask for like technical help here and there. But I think it's going to be done on my end because I'm going to be compositing also, and I'm going to be the one doing that. So I want to know like what I'm doing and what layers I'm bringing in, and yeah.
Yeah, so I guess once you have like a shader based on like one texture or one shader that you create, we can sort of we can all kind of base it off that, and then do variations of that shader.
So we'll have to figure out that shader and then do that.
All right.
I did that for my student film. Not that it's an example of like extraordinary rendering or texturing at all, but what I did, I had like this Play-Doh style texture, and I just threw it on everything, and there's one shader with different colors. Now, my film was not well rendered or textured. This is not a good example.
Your film was good.
The film might have been good. The texture rendering lighting was not good. So we can use that system only better with like just to look nicer.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Actually, I just thought of something because you mentioned lighting and rendering and Andre. We should probably set up. I think we already kind of discussed it. I'm not sure which message or thread it was under, but for scale, for like the doing real world scale for rendering. So I guess in terms of all the background characters, it would be cool if whoever wants to do it set up a real life like height chart based on how tall or short they should be. So like the giraffe should be 6'5" or whatever, and then just kind of scale.
I have that in a drawing, like in a drawing, not in
that, but yeah, I guess setting up like actual like numbers to it, so that we can just like actually scale the models before they even get rigged, and then we like freeze the transformation so it's zeroed out at the correct height, just so I don't have to worry about it in terms of. I mean, all the models have been, they should be rigged to be able to scale anyway, but it's nice to have it at the start so it doesn't hold back anything. It's like you don't have to worry about importing it, referencing it into your scene, and then it being too big or small, and then if he doesn't get to it right away, dealing with it.
Yeah, I can assign numbers to all of it.
Yeah, just
based on the fish and the pig number. I'll just add or subtract. All right, cool. So yeah, thanks a lot for chatting for a little bit. And I think we're in a good place, and we'll just keep talking on chat on Slack, I guess.